conflicts? Did people work together there? Or what about the challenges we're facing now? Climate change, the increasing cases of mental illness among young people, or cases of depression, for instance, the crisis in inequality in many different areas, discrimination, all these things. These are big problems, and we need to work together to find solutions for those. But how do we do that? So I'm giving the floor to you, and please feel free to facilitate this discussion however you want, Matara and Yun.
Thank you so much, Arizza, for giving us an insight into your life in the Philippines and your incredible, really unique story of your childhood, and how that's kind of like influenced what you're doing now. It's been really, really nice
to listen to you. We've been talking a lot about how you can kind of light up your own lake with your individual lighthouse, and I really see you taking your little portion of the world and the problems that you can see there and lighting it up. Yeah, so it's really touched us all, I think. So now we'd just like to invite people to come up to the microphone and just maybe talk about what you have been discussing in your pairs. So just reflect a little bit on the question. Yeah, if anyone feels called to do so.
I reflected this in my group about the question of how can we listen to each other again. And what I thought was really like in those conflict areas where people mostly don't listen to each other, I have the feeling they are so wounded inside, like so they feel so not respected and just so wounded and hurt. And like how I can imagine from that space it comes that there is not really, that you maybe even don't want to listen because we have such a pain inside. And that's my question. I don't know, I have not really a question, but it was more like the feeling of that maybe because they can't listen because they are just so wounded and they have so much anger and feelings in them, and they just want to be seen and like to be heard. And how can you actually like mediate something like this? And yeah.
Thank you. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, I'm Edda, and I'm from Germany.
Okay, thank you. I think it's a very important observation. A lot of people don't open up because it's such a deep, it's a deep, dark like identity that they haven't even processed yet for themselves, or maybe they have trauma from past experiences. Like for instance, some of the kids we've worked with are child soldiers, so they were actually children who joined these terrorist organizations or who were recruited, and they decided eventually to leave these organizations, but